Hi everyone and welcome back to Movie of the Week. The movie this week was Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Patrol from 2011, so you haven't watched it, watch it now. If you're new to Movie of the Week, I do is I talk about the movie here, you guys comment below your thoughts, and in 2024 we're doing franchise and reboots and things of those elements. So we're doing 3 different Mission Impossible movies. This is the first one. I'll reveal the next one at the end. And I've done a few different action movies or action franchises here this far in this year. I'm a big action person fan. I feel like those action movies I kind of had specific reasons, like I picked those specific movies. I think for these I just picked the movies I like the best of Mission Impossible. I think Mission Impossible might be my favorite action franchise. So I think for James Bond I had specific reasons of like why I picked those episodes, and I think also a little bit with Fast and Furious, which I count as action. I can't remember if we did another action franchise. I don't know. I know we did like Hunger Games and stuff, but like that's like borderline. So Mission Impossible, I definitely watch each movie like 3, 4, 5 times. I don't know. So the first one is like, you know, your first Mission Impossible movie, like whatever, you know, it's good, but it's also like it's the first movie, and it also was not even 2000 yet, so it was a little bit, they couldn't do too much, you know. The second movie probably the worst Mission Impossible movie. I mean, like, it's not too bad because it is still Mission Impossible, but it's also like I can't believe that movie was a sequel and then they're like, let's make a third. The third one was about his wife, and like it was okay, and actually, you know, pretty decent, but I think the fourth one, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think because this might be the best one. Actually, I don't know, I don't know, we'll have to see because there's a reason I picked the next two, so maybe those are actually better. But I think the fourth one is actually like really, really good. And there's just so many like creative things, like just there's so many things about the scenes that like, it's just like, it's so interesting. And so, you know, a lot of these action movies, they all, well, that's the thing, especially a lot of these action movies, action franchises, I should say, they follow kind of the same script. And what differs, like this compares to like James Bond or like Fast and the Furious, is there are slight differences. But with each of these movies within the franchise, they kind of go by the same script. And they have the same thing where it's like, you know, it's the same procedure. And so it's kind of, all action movies kind of have the same procedure, but like little differences between the franchises. Like James Bond, he's like kind of one-man show, right? This one, technically, it's a team. So there's that team element that James Bond doesn't really have. And, you know, he had some team help, but it's really him. This one, Ethan Hunt is kind of the main guy. He is kind of like the James Bond, but he does still have a team that he falls back on. Fast and Furious has the cars, so that's their element that's different, but they also are very team-based. So there's just so many things that you have all these procedures, they're all the same thing, and you have to come up with these like clever scenes. So things I'm gonna point out that was clever they did. I mean, the opening scene in the prison and escaping, that was very clever. The scene where they have that, I don't even know what it's called, but what is that called? Screen thing, and then it like they move it forward and the person doesn't see them behind that screen. Like, that was very clever. So the whole thing in Dubai when he's like scaling the building is crazy, and then the dust storm, fighting in the dust storm. And then what else is there? And then I think the last scene when they're in the car garage. So it's just something where it's like how do you make these action movies unique? How do you do the same fighting scene where it's like always the same thing, like someone wants to bomb the world because they think they're doing a good thing by bombing the world. It's always the same thing. It's always the same thing in all these movies. Come on. But how do you make it interesting? And so like having these like cool ideas, like scaling the tallest building, like of course it's the tallest building, that's what he's gonna do. And then like I don't know who came up with like let them fight in this like car garage, but it's like actually so interesting. So I think this movie, like, I think really like helped the franchise. And even though it's the fourth movie in, I think after this, like the franchise became a little bit stronger. It kind of had more of a procedure because I felt like the first, second, and third movie, you know, it didn't follow it as much, but then after this, it kind of followed the procedure a little bit more. And I kind of talked about with the Fast and Furious, like, I don't remember if it's no, it's the third Fast and Furious movie where it's like doesn't even have the same characters. Like it's something totally different. And then after that, they kind of like went back to the same characters from the first and second movie, and you know, kind of had more of the same procedure. So I think with action franchises, more so than all these other movie franchises, is action franchises will have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever movies. And so it's something where it's like it's okay if like you don't have like the full structure and procedure in the first couple of movies, because you're gonna have so many more movies, and you know, they allows them to have more of a footing and kind of figure out what works with this franchise. And that's the thing, is action movies, you know, they cost the most to make, but they make the most money because it just plays better internationally, because it's less speaking, so it's just better, so it's okay. And I think that's kind of interesting way to look at action movies. And it's action movies are such a procedural, so when they can do something interesting and something gravitating, it's great to watch and great to see. Yeah, I don't want to go too much into this movie in general. I think we'll talk more about when we talk about the other Mission Impossible movies. But yeah, it's just crazy that like it's the same, you know, James Bond, ever a few movies we get a new James Bond. We don't get that in Mission Impossible. It's always the same Ethan Hunt and characters. It's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is in his 60s now, so I don't know how much longer you can do it. I think there might be like one more Mission Impossible movie. I don't know, because knowing him, he's not gonna have someone replace him. But there's only so much more you can do, and he's despite whatever about his religion, or I don't even want to talk about it, despite all that, like he is committed to his craft, and the stunts that he actually does, like he actually does himself, is insane. And we'll talk about that more when we get to those more. So he is, I think he actually scaled that building. Obviously he had wires and stuff on him that was edited out, but like he does his own crafts, like he is committed to it. So we're gonna end it here, but the next movie we're gonna do is Mission Impossible 6. Oh my god, I'm forgetting what it, Fallout from 2018. So we're skipping 5 and we're going to 6. I think 5 was pretty good too, but I could only pick 3 movies. So we're skipping 5 and we're going to 6. So comment below comment below your thoughts about Mission Impossible Ghost Patrol, and then watch Mission Impossible Fallout next week. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye.